Hi guys, it's Sunshine. So I'm going to be heading out for an overnight camp up in the mountains. And before I go on a day trip tomorrow out to the desert, maybe do some more rock collecting. Hopefully, I won't forget them like I did out there at the beach at the cove. But anyway, I'm going to do a video later. I'm going to call it Strawberry Full Moon, Divine Feminine Baking Alchemy. So that should be pretty good. Is strawberries are ripe? Go get some strawberries, ladies. Let's do some baking. So I'll talk more about that later. But before I head out to the desert or the mountains or wherever the heck I'm going for the full moon, I wanted to share a story from here. This is Wisdom Stories for the Planet Earth. It's a bunch of anecdotes from the wise masters throughout the ages, just a bunch of little short stories. This one I thought was really awesome, so I wanted to share it with you, and we'll do a video later on up in the mountains for the full moon. So the story is, and it's a short one, it's called First Lesson. A prince in India was the heir apparent to the throne. When he was a boy, he was reading with his brothers in school when the headmaster came to their classroom to examine them. He asked them how far they had advanced, and the young boys laid before the master all they had read. When the time came for the prince, the master put the usual question to him, and the boy opened the primer and said in a cheerful tone, not the least ashamed, "I have learned the alphabet, and I have learned the first sentence." The master said, "Is that all? Have you learned nothing more?" The boy hesitatingly said, "The second sentence." The master was exasperated. He expected the prince to apply himself to possess high knowledge and great wisdom, and not to be snail slow. The master asked him to stand before him. He thought to spare the rod was to spoil the child. That condition of mind made the master very cruel, and he began to thrash the boy. But the boy kept his calm, and he was cheerful and happy as ever. The master beat him for a few minutes and found no signs of anger, anxiety, fear, or sorrow on the beautiful face of the prince, and his heart relented just looking at the boy. The master reflected and said to himself, "What is the matter? How can this boy, who by one word can have me dismissed, who is one day to rule all of India, be so calm? I am so severe on him, and he does not resent it in the least. I was harsh on the other brothers, and they resented it. But this boy reserves his temper. He is cheerful, calm, and quiet." Then the eyes of the master fell upon the first sentence which the boy had learned. In India, primers do not begin with dogs and cats, they begin with God and beautiful advice. The first sentence after the alphabet in the book was, "Never lose your temper, never get annoyed, have no anger." The second sentence was, "Speak the truth, always speak the truth." The boy said he had learned the first sentence, but he hesitatingly said he had learned the second sentence. Now the master's eyes again fell upon the first sentence, "Lose not your temper, have no anger." And then he looked at the face of the boy. One eye of the master was on the sentence in the book, and the other was on the face of the boy. The meaning of the sentence flashed through his mind. The face of the boy told the meaning of the sentence. The face of the boy was the incarnation of the sentence written in the book, "Never get angry." The calm, bright, happy, cheerful, and beautiful face of the prince brought home to the heart of the teacher the meaning of the sentence, "Never get angry." The master transgressed. He had learned the substance of the sentence originally through the lips. Now the master knew that this sentence was not to be talked out loud like a parrot, but could be lived, could be carried into effect, and then he realized how little was his own knowledge. He felt ashamed within himself that he had not learned the first sentence when a boy had really learned it. The boy, by learning something, did not mean learning it by rote, but by learning the meaning, but by learning he meant practicing, carrying it into effect, realizing, feeling, and becoming one with it. This was the meaning of learning to this boy. No sooner did the master understand the meaning of learning than the stick fell from his hand and his heart relented. He took the boy and clasped him in his arms and kissed his forehead, and then he felt all his ignorance and his lack of practical knowledge to such an extent that he was ashamed of himself. He patted the boy on the back and said, "Son, dear prince, I congratulate you on having truly learned at least one sentence. I do not even know one sentence. I get angry and lose my temper. Pity me, child, for you are more learned than I." When the master spoke in this manner, praising the boy said, "Father, father, I have not yet learned this sentence thoroughly, because I felt some signs of anger and resentment in my heart when I received the thrashing." He was speaking the meaning of the second sentence. He was speaking out the truth. When there was every temptation, when he was being flattered to conceal his inner weakness, to reveal by his own acts the weakness lurking in his soul, the child proved that he had learned the second sentence also, speak the truth. By his acts through his life, he lived the second sentence. That, my friends, is the wisdom, and I would have to say in the divine feminine, you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't feel it, it means nothing. With that, you all have a beautiful and blessed day.